Hi, this is Witch Nikki. I was just doing a video and I went into about 30 minutes of my discussion, and I was showing people what not to do with the camera and stuff, and my camera not dropped on the floor, but I was going from, I hope this doesn't happen again, I was going from telling them why not to put your phone down like this to putting your phone up like this, and somehow I clicked it. Okay, what I wanted to talk to you about, and what I'm going to be talking to you about, is some of the etiquette, some of the things that just make these chat Zoom meetings, VC clinics, VC Messenger, and all those little messenger things that we do nowadays, since COVID, is to that will make your call a little bit better. I'm not professional at it, but I see what goes on. I've gone to enough of these now that I see what goes on and what would make it better. So this could be for beginners. This could be for people who just might not have thought that they should be doing stuff better this way, or whatever way. In fact, if you want to leave me some hints on tips on what to do, that would be great, because I'm still learning and I still need to learn what to do. But sometimes we have this internal, I don't know what you want to call it, just internal knowledge that this is going not too good. Should this be happening? So I started writing out some notes now. Before, I didn't have notes, and I decided I'm going to put some notes down from the last one, so now I could add it in here. Before the chat, you want to start setting up your whole area, and where your phone's going to be. This is good for videos too, because I'm doing a video right now. Excuse me. Especially if you have one of those little circles that tells you to flip the phone around. I'll show you what I mean. Hang on. Okay. What is that, you say? Well, it's a very, very close up of my planter. See that? I usually use this to prop up my phone right there, because it just sits perfectly just like that, and it view of me right here. Sometimes I like to put my phone like this. I have lighting over here. It's not big and fancy. In fact, I showed that before too, so I'm showing this now. It's one of these utility kind of lamps that people use for, like, out in the garage and utility purpose. Okay. Okay. So, and you want to, if you have a camera and video and you know how to do a video, then see how mine is. And mine, what I'm facing right now, is the screen side, where you press in your text and what you look at, pictures. That's the part I'm looking at right now, what's facing me. Then I push the button. It looks like an arrow type thing that goes like this. You see one arrow pointing this way and one pointing this way. That means it's going to turn you around. It's kind of weird, because, like, what's it going to do? What it does is it flips you around. See? So look on your phone when you're doing a video or picture, and if you want it looking at you, because most phones nowadays, the more modern ones, are going to have that little button. It's not really a button, it's just a little icon that's on there. Okay, so you want it to where you can sit it here and you can watch yourself, because this is a good indication of what people are going to be seeing when they're chatting with you. What you see right now is what people would be chatting with me if we were chatting. This is what they're going to see, basically. Okay, so before you chat, you want to practice with the camera. Feel comfortable with it. Do a couple little practice videos. You don't have to say anything or do anything. Just, hi, 1, 2, 3. Turn it, see, watch it, and see. Okay, that looks great. You might want to put a piece of paper on the desk if you want, and just mark where you put it. Okay, so, and how you angled it, because this I've just, like I said, have propped up against a little planter. Perfect. And the lighting's always like this. I don't like showing the back of the room. I think it's kind of distracting. Also, you just want to kind of maintain some privacy. If you share rooms or houses with other people, you don't want others looking like, oh, what's that? What's that over there? Anytime anybody chats with me at any given time, you might hear my birds chirping in the background. Well, deal with it. I usually make sure that they have all their needs taken care of for the time I'm going to do a chat or a video. Which brings me to another thing. So you set up your phone and camera beforehand, so you know what the people are going to be looking at. And you make sure that you're not interrupted. Even if this means you have to communicate with other family or house members, I'm going to be on a video chat. I'm going to do a video, or whatever it is that you're going to do. Please do not disturb. With me, I use this room, and my daughter and granddaughter also use it from time to time. So I make sure that they're either not here, or if it's during school time, that the door is pushed all the way closed. Because if it doesn't push all the way, then it looks like it's a gap, and then they just think, oh, nothing's going on. So that's my signal. I told them, because sometimes I never know when I'm going to start a video. I usually know if I'm going to have a meeting, because usually those are appointments, and so I'll tell them I have an appointment in my room. They already know. So, yeah. Also, I was saying, in most of the meetings that I've gone to, even with my therapist, she's sitting having coffee or tea or whatever she sips, and I sip my coffee, especially in the morning. If you don't know, you can always ask the moderator of the meeting that you're at, is it okay to bring my own cup of coffee or whatever? You know, when y'all used to go to meetings in the office, usually they would provide coffee, donuts, cookies, fruit, stuff like that. And so I don't see anything wrong with it. But if you don't know for sure, ask. Because you want to kind of make this as comfortable for you yourself. I feel I could go ahead and drink whatever, whatever I want, if it's coffee or water. Sometimes I feel bad because I'm like, I don't have anything to offer. There's no way to offer it to anybody. Would you like a cup of coffee? Okay, go make it. So, yeah. Um, so once you get on there, um, you want to still like have the same kind of respect for the person speaking as you would if you were face to face in an office or meeting hall or wherever you would have a meeting. Um, One person is speaking and we try not to speak over them. So pay attention. Also, one thing that really kind of is distracting, let me tell you, is people who might not set up, they don't know, and they're just holding the phone like this. I'm holding it now. But you see, like, when I breathe in and stuff, and I get tired of it, and pretty soon it starts dropping like this, and people just, I don't know what they're doing. I'm assuming they're just like, don't know that this is going on. That's why just leave your phone there. Don't mess with it. And because I've had seen some people, and they have, I don't know what, maybe hanging from the ceiling or something, and it's way up here, or for some reason, I don't know why, but you get this kind of view of a person, which is kind of annoying. It's like, what are you doing? Why are you so close? Why are you, you can see all the pores on their face, like, hello, back up. Just a comfortable distance, because that's just uncomfortable, isn't it? And it moving around like that, it's just like, get it, keep it, stay there. Yeah. Okay. That is one of the most important things, because you don't want to be messing around with your phone like, oh, it slipped, or the table I bumped the table and it fell over. A lot of stuff like that can go on. And some people might be using a camera, one of those old cameras. I don't even know if I even have one anymore. I had one somewhere, and I don't even remember how, because I never used it. So it's like one of those little cameras like this, plugged into the computer, and people might, go like this or that. It just looks like a little, I don't know, some little box device type thing like that. And it's got, a lens on it, and people might be putting it up here or there or whatever. And I'm like, okay, still, even with that, you can still look at it. You can do, like, you could still look to see how it looks, and then make your adjustments. Do all of that adjusting stuff before the meeting. Okay? There's nothing more distracting than having somebody trying to fiddle around and get this all situated. Okay? Also, do not drive. Don't be in the car driving, you being the driver and on a meeting. And don't have somebody else, like an Uber or a friend, driving you somewhere. If you cannot be 100% here and present, don't be there at all. Okay? Don't make your appointments for like, oh, I have enough time to get from, I can do this appointment on the way to do that, to get to that, to a doctor's or friends or wherever it is you're going. Don't do that. Because you wouldn't do it if you were in an office meeting. And if you're not there, you're late. If you're late, you're not, there. And you're keeping other people waiting. And so, and it's not polite. And it's really against some of the privacy rules if they're not explained up front. And maybe sometimes, like yesterday I joined a group that I think had been already formed before I started going to it. And so maybe they spoke out those rules and stuff and just probably hoped that everybody knew them already. I don't know, because nothing was said before. Well, one person, two people actually, were driving. One person was driving, well, they were both seemed to be driving themselves. And one person was looking for a place to pull over and stop. But they just wanted to get in, to the meeting. And then they were going to get somewhere and just stop and chat in the car. Okay, guess if that's the best you could do. But try to get to the meeting in your car somewhere and stop. Don't drive while you're in a meeting. It's like driving and texting. Driving and doing a video chat. You know how it kind of comes out? I'll try to show you without turning off anything. So, pretend this is my steering wheel right here. Okay. You're seeing this, or you're seeing the parts of the car, or you're seeing the back seat, which is sometimes unkept, a mess. I didn't ask to go for a ride in your car, and I certainly don't think it's really proper etiquette of any kind to enforce upon other people to be sitting in the back seat or the front seat of your car that you didn't ask. I didn't ask to be here. I came to a meeting. Okay? And sorry. I'm sorry to sound like this, but it's so distracting. That's a big thing. Do not be distracting. You come in and you say, oh, and the leader says, oh, hey, are you here, so and so? And they're like, yeah, I'm just trying to find a place to park. And all the time you're seeing the car moving around and stuff like that. And do they realize that some people watching that are getting motion sick? I get motion sickness very easily. Okay, sometimes I get them watching my own videos. I used to do videos on my bike, and then I stopped doing that because, like, the motion riding a bike, I was like, oh my God. So I know I probably still have a few of those videos out here in YouTube, but I've since stopped doing it. It's just so distracting. So distracting. Maybe drinking my coffee might be distracting. I'm sorry, but I'm pretty sure that anybody watching this is drinking or eating or doing whatever you feel like doing. So I'm going to do basically the same thing. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Even when we're sitting together and might be at a coffee shop and you're listening to somebody and you take a sip, nod, you're not really being that distracting, okay? It doesn't have to do with anything. Nothing's changed. It's still me and my cup. Okay? No problem. I don't see a problem with that. Here's the other thing that happened the other day. Person number 2 in the car was driving for some time. She's like, oh, please excuse me, I'm driving. Because she was trying to get from home to her job or her work. Now, if she was in a meeting, she would not be going to work until after the meeting. So don't use this as a convenience for yourself to be doing so much multitasking. Sometimes multitasking is just rude. And I think it's just rude for anybody to say, hey, I'm so important that I'm going to this meeting and I'm going to work, or I'm going to another place, or I'm going to somewhere else, or whatever, wherever she was going. So I'm multitasking. Great for you, but really annoying for the rest of us. Really annoying, because not only are you being rude at driving, but then she drove, parked, and walked from wherever she parked the car to somewhere else. She was still walking. I don't know where she had to go, but the whole time you're seeing where she's walking. And either she might have had this thing, the camera lens, turned around to where she's holding her phone, but it's going out, like showing where she's walking. So this motion's going on. Not only the motion, but the background of I don't know if it didn't look too windy, but it was hard to tell because it was like sometimes we're looking at the grass, sometimes we're looking at trees and brush and stuff, and crossing the street. So I have an idea of where she was. But the one thing like this for this kind of meeting is that we, the people who are all already in attendance, we want our privacy, okay? And we're already outside the box here with having discussions with other people on devices, okay? And we're depending on our ability to have a little bit of privacy that way. Well, when you're walking from point A to point B, and there might be people around, they're hearing bits and pieces of our conversation. And this should not be happening. If you live in a house and you share it with other people, either a group house or apartment, or you share it with family, everybody's locked down now, so you find a quiet place to have this conversation, okay? Now, imagine if we're not a video, and it was that we're having a conversation in a group. And somebody's talking about a past, some experience, some trauma, and they're crying and stuff, and people around are like hearing that, okay? That's breaking the contract of confidentiality right there. Don't do that. So, and if you have to step away, you can. Now, I'm going to try to tell you about, on a lot of these, I'm going to use Zoom as an example, okay? Right here in this, I don't know if you could see, right about here in the screen, this bottom area. When you're on a Zoom call or some other kind of call, you can tap lightly, and it will have a little strip of different little icons. One will look like a microphone, okay? This is so anybody looking at it should know what this stuff means. Then it's going to have one that looks like a little camera, or the video, okay? First of all, the microphone will mute you. So if it has an X over it, like this, a line across it, okay, then that means it's muted. If you push it, again and it goes away and you just see the microphone, that means that people are going to hear you and everything else around you. So if you're going to be on the move, click it and pause it, like I'm going to do right now. Okay, well, I had a disruption that I had to kind of take care of. Not a bad one. It's just that on Wednesdays, Michelle and Ginger get a little bit too feisty out there because Ginger has a late start or early finish of school. So Michelle goes to work later on, so they're out there kind of playing around and stuff. It got a little bit too loud. So yeah, you want to try to have not many distractions. I forgot exactly what point I was at talking about. But I think I was kind of in the middle of describing two drivers, and one was trying to find a parking spot, and one found a parking spot but continued to walk with the phone. This kind of breaks this little privacy agreement that in the beginning we do see. It says do not drive, make sure that of your surroundings, that you're not going to be around people that could be listening. Also, you really don't want to put exactly where you're at if you don't know who's going to be in the group, okay? Because they might see where you're at and see so many other things could go on, okay? So if you're going to be in a meeting, be in a meeting. Be there, okay? Let's see. Oh, yes. I was also talking about pausing. Not pausing, but muting. And also so one little icon will look like a microphone. And if it has a cross through it, a line through it, that means it's muted, okay? So people will not be able to hear what you're saying. You'll be like, okay? And everybody else will like, we can't hear you, you're muted. And the camera one, sometimes if you press the camera and it's got a line over it, then that means that usually just either the picture that you have will be up there, a still shot, or just some little icon that, you know, of like a profile or whatever's there will show that. And so you won't see none of this stuff going on. And so those are usually at the bottom of your screen right here if you have a newer type of a phone, okay? And you go along here and you just kind of gently tap. I won't do it now because I'm going to turn us around again, so I don't need to do that. But you just gently tap it and you'll have a little display there. A microphone, the camera. I forgot. I think there's something else. I forgot what it is. But every different setup is different, a little bit different. And then you'll maybe have like those 3 dots at the side. You press those for other options. Some of them will be like to send a message. And if you know, it'll have like a list, drop down a list of who's there in attendance. And if you want to send a message to the moderator and say, hey, can we please tell the people to mute their cameras? Because I could understand if everybody's house is making noise, so there's noise in everybody's background, it could all come through here and it makes it hard. Also, if you're walking around and stuff and traveling, you're going to have lagging. And you're going to have your picture do like that. It freezes because the bandwidth, it'll pop up and it'll say, this video has stopped to save bandwidth, or because of the bandwidth. Bandwidth was kind of explained to me at one point or another. It's kind of like an old house or any kind of house where you're washing your hands or washing dishes in the kitchen, and somebody's taking a shower, and the water kind of, gets pulled away from the shower, and they say, "Hey, I'm in the shower." Or you flush the toilet and, "Hey, I'm in the shower," Okay? So it's not getting enough energy or whatever to make your video continue. So it just freezes up like that. You be talking, somebody be talking, all of a sudden, because you'll see people, and even though I'm listening, I'll be kind of, nodding and stuff. And then sometimes you see people just like freeze. Then it will say on there, canceled because of bandwidth or whatever. Bandwidth. That means that they're not getting enough signal. Some of it's been going off somewhere else or something. You're not getting enough signals to continue this connection to have a video going on. Okay, so also one thing you want to do when you're setting up if there's room for your pronouns and you want people to know your pronouns, so please put that and be considerate of what pronouns people use. It might be hard at first, but that's why you want to get to these meetings ahead of time. And the moderator is connecting everybody. You could just go over here to the side, see who's all there. And I know that Eventbrite and Zoom, I think, might say somewhere your name, if you want to put your name, and you might want to and it might have a place for pronouns. Or if you want to put like your first name and just put they, them, or you want to put he, she, or whatever, or he, or he, whatever, you know what I'm talking about. You put down your pronouns that you use. So I think that's pretty much all that I wanted to say. I kind of lost track of my time and going out there. I'm still at 32 minutes, so that's good. But I mostly wanted to get this out here because it's really important that we stay focused on, number one, who is presenting the meeting. The moderator is the moderator, because sometimes you'll have a moderator who will say, "Welcome to this event," or whatever it is. And then they'll say, "We have guest speaker, whoever," and then those guest speakers, okay? When I'm listening to something like that, yes, I will mute. I'll leave my camera on so they could see me. And sometimes they'll say, does anybody have anything to say? But mostly if you're going to an event, they're going to be talking. And you're going to be listening. So you want to put your camera on mute so that it's not disturbing the background noises and stuff like that. I put mine on mute a lot, or sometimes if I'm in a video here, I put pause. Right now you can hear my birds chirping in the background, and sometimes they get a little bit like louder than this. But when it's just like this and I'm doing a video, I leave it on because I'm not going to do this video over again. I already did it once for about a half an hour, about this long, and accidentally dropped my camera because I was shifting it around to show you. You want to have it standing up and down, okay, like straight, like the top, the bottom. You don't want it on its side. I work with that, look at it, make a video with you on the side and see how it looks, okay? Watch it back. That's what you want to do before your chat, is make a video of yourself. Like I said, what you see in the video is what you're going to see if you're having a chat. Only you're not, like right now, I'm from the top of the screen to the bottom, you know, a little bit more than the length of this pen. In a chat, you're still going to be there mostly, but you're going to look smaller because there's going to be maybe 3 people along the bottom, and the person who's speaking will be up here. And if you're in a group, those people, whoever is going to be presenting, they'll say, oh, does somebody else want to talk? Then when that person talks, I've noticed sometimes their frame gets like highlighted with a little line, like a little green line or something. And sometimes they move to the position of up above. Okay, that just like they've gone from the bottom up here, so everybody knows who's speaking. Okay, and sometimes those people, there'll be pages of people, and you can swipe across and you could see, oh, there's other people. There's more than just what meets the eye. And also the moderator has the power to share a screen. So if they're doing a presentation, they'll share a screen. That might be another one of the other little icons down here. But unless you've been instructed that you can share something, you should not share anything on the screen. It's not your program. It's not your group. If you've been asked to speak, then you would learn how to do this stuff beforehand. So I think that's about it for now. I just wanted to make sure that we're all on the same page. So along with do not drive, also, do not walk. Do not walk places while you're on a meeting. These are some of the ones that I have. I know that this is going to be, it looks backwards to me, but so those are some of the ones that I have. 6, mute if you've been asked by the moderator. The moderator is the one who's in charge, nobody else. If you're a guest at a group, it's so rude to assume you have a place to say, hey, moderator, can you tell people to mute? If you're going to say something like that, hit the little thing at the bottom here, send them a message. You know the moderator's name, send them a message. So mute if you've been asked by the moderator. And I'm running out of space here to write things. So if you've been asked by the moderator or your background's noisy, or not private, if you don't have a private setting. So I know my penmanship's not too good, but this pen smells so bad. Anyways, so this is Witchniki, and I'm going to leave it with that for now. If I find anything else that I want to add to it later, I might edit it into below my video for the description or whatever. But I'm pretty sure I've covered all the things that kind of bother me. So if they bother me, I know that they're bothering other people. And it's just something that I've kind of learned, like, I'll just sit back mostly at some of these meetings and I'm like, what is that person doing? Yeah. And some people don't have that inclination that they're doing something that's annoying. They don't even think about it. But like I said, if you're going to a meeting or an event, be at the meeting and event. Like you're in an office, and it would be rude to get up and move around. You're not going to be in a meeting in an office if you're in a car, are you? So don't do it here. Don't take advantage of this kind of situation to do a multitasking type thing. Be present 100% at these meetings or don't attend. Okay? Now, there's been a time or two that I've been at a meeting and let's say I've really got to go to the bathroom, or I hear somebody at the front door knocking or pounding away at the front door, usually some salesperson. So what I will do, even on a video that I'm doing or a meeting, I will mute myself. I will pause the camera or turn off the camera, and I mean pause it for this, these videos. But if you're doing a chat video, you're just you turn off the camera. And then you go take care of business. You go to the bathroom. You go tell the person at the front door to go away. You tell people to stop being too loud. Because we all need to respect each other's spaces when we're having these meetings. It's the only way that we can get through all of this stuff of not being able to go places is on these YouTubes, Zooms, all these meetings, okay? So yeah, do that. Be respectful of the other people there, okay? And try to just tune in, because I am always seeing people just like, what are they doing? I can't understand sometimes. It's like they didn't even think about setting up the camera in a proper place that would be showing them. Okay. Try to look your best. Okay. Because if you went out in public, you would look your best, I would hope. Plus it makes you feel good. Okay, but try to look your best when you're at these meetings, whether you're face to face. You might be on a camera or on a device of some kind and think that it doesn't matter, but it really does. It shows that your state of mind is present and you're going to do some discussions with other people, or you might just want to listen. It's totally okay. If the moderator asks you, okay, it's your turn to talk, and you don't feel like it, just say, I'm going to pass right now. I just want to be here and be present and listen. Okay? It's okay to say that, because maybe you're not prepared to talk about it. Maybe this is your first time in this meeting. Maybe not on all these kinds of meetings, but maybe this is the first one for you. Unless you're at a work or something like that, then, or school, and that they do call on you, you need to say, okay, you need to answer the question, or you need to give your opinion, or whatever it is that they're asking for at that time. So some places where it's perfectly okay to say, I don't feel like talking right now, but maybe a little bit later. I'm just kind of observing this group. Thank you. Mute. Once you learn where the mute buttons are, some of these apps will tell you, do a test. So it'll show you what to do. Look at those. Or come find somebody who does know. If you have any preteen or teenager, even a little kid, hey, how do you work this? don't be afraid to ask them, because they're really smart on this stuff. They know how to work these things. Okay? So I know that these kind of video chats are new to some people, but we're going to have to keep using them for a while. So let's keep being mindful of what other people are doing, what we're doing, and let's have a good time. I love the meetings that I have with other people. So let's try to all be comfortable, because otherwise if I feel uncomfortable, I'm just going to go click, leave the call, leave the whatever. I'm going to leave. I don't like confrontations, but I did the other day, because it was just after this person said, hey, moderator person, let's can you tell everybody to mute themselves because there's too much background noise? Well, it seemed like everybody did, except this person that requested it of everybody. And then all you could hear was their background stuff going on, because they did not mute themselves, which I think is very rude. Number one, that person did not have the floor at the moment. That person just asked the moderator out of the blue, can we all have everybody mute? But not them. Okay, so don't do that. You can send a message privately, like I said. I think I might have said this already, but you can send a message to the moderator down below here with all the little selections. You won't see it unless you kind of tap the screen gently. Okay, then it will say, I think it's in the ... on some of these apps, and so you will say, can we have people mute? There's too much background noise. Okay, it's like right now one of my dogs is barking. I don't know if you could hear it, but this is where I'm going to go for now. Have a great day.